y'all? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's Sunday. I done got my Jesus in, and I am ready to tackle this subject that we're going to be talking about. So, stop this video right now. If you haven't already, subscribe right below. Hit that button. So, the topic today is going to be: do you guys think RN or nurse influencers or nurses of Instagram provide a false view of the nursing profession? That's what we're talking about today. So I'm gonna go in because I got some research from Instagram, a lot of nurses and nursing students responses. I'm gonna read them, and then I'm also gonna talk about why I want to have this conversation in the first place. So we're gonna go in. Okay, so boom, right? The last week I dropped a video about how I was dismissed from my nurse practitioner program. Update on that: I got accepted into Walden. So I will be starting a new program in April, and I don't have to start all over. I'm so excited about that. So woo, kudos. I just wanted to update y'all on that. And so the topic that we're talking about, you know, do nurse influencers or Instagram nurses, and that's not what I'm calling them. I hate that terminology. The influencer one I don't hate, but the Instagram nurses, it's like, no, I'm a nurse in real life, so I'm not belittling my peers when I say that. This is just a terminology that people have been using when they ask me this question. So I got a lot of questions. After I dropped that video last week, I went live on Instagram, and I was asked, do I feel like influencers or nurse influencers are really sharing what really goes on, I guess, on like in the profession, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly. And the urban nurse, shout out to Ty, he did a video, or just dropped a video a couple days ago, I don't know if it's a couple days ago, about how nursing is a scam. And I don't really think it's a scam, but I do think that people don't tell you everything that goes on, and I think that's what he means. You know, about the stress and the burnout and the different things that we got to do, the different hats we have to wear in the profession. Nobody doesn't really tell you all of that. And then, you know, shout out to Nurse Kim. She actually posted something today on her Instagram just about the fact that, you know, she tries to be transparent and post the good and the ugly. And so this is what I started reading about it. And shout out to Adriana. She is the founder of RN Goes on Instagram, right? There was a post that she had put up, and I just want to pull it up right now because I want to read it to y'all. It was something that somebody posted on their IG story. And it basically says, don't fall for aspiring nurses. That nurse that is posted up next to the crash car has never used it because she works at the desk. The nurse rocking her Gucci bag saved for 7 months to get it. The nurse mixing meds on her post has done it 3 times on different occasions and had to ask someone for help. Don't let not one of these IG super nurses fool you. On any given day, they are not who they flick. So I'm just going to give a disclaimer that we all grown and we all are entitled to our own opinions. And whatever I say on this vlog, you might not agree with, and that's okay. Just disagree respectfully, and we can keep it moving. Because I'm going to read some of my responses from Instagram, but I'm also going to talk about my own opinion and how I feel about, you know, when people share and how people place these people on these pedestals, like research ain't a thing. So yeah, let's go in with the response. Okay, so today, before I started filming, I went to Instagram and I posted a question on my personal Instagram, which is at @ureadyb__. You can go follow. And I posted the same question on my nurse platform, which is at Not Just Nurses. You can go follow. And the question just said, do you think that Instagram nurses or or nurse influencers or whatever provide a false view of the nursing profession? So I'm gonna read y'all some of the responses, and this is legit the responses, so y'all don't think I'm just making this up. One of the nurses, shout out to Danny, she says, some yes, that's why I try to give my followers the honest truth with my blogs. Another nurse said, I think they represent well. One says sometimes. Another nurse said, nah, I think it shows how multidimensional our profession can be. Nurse Kim, shout out to Nurse Kim again. She said, you know, she feels like we should talk about the positive and the negative because this profession is not easy and it truly takes a special person to be in this field. So I'm going to go to my nurse platform so I can read what they said. Let's see. So these responses said, yes, I see some of the girls making it look like a cakewalk. It says too much beauty and fashion, not enough knowledge and insight. No, a lot of nurses I follow keep it real and very transparent. Someone said, not if people are following the right nurses who keep it real. One person said, flat out, yes, they do. Another person who I believe she just started to blog, she said, well, I don't. Someone said sometimes, and another person said, oh yes, absolutely, I rarely see the truth of what actually goes on during the shifts. And then another person, shout out to at Life as Wendy R. She says, sometimes that's why I started my YouTube, to be real about it. I wish someone had told me everything when I became a nurse. I was so shocked. Hard but worth it. Y'all ready for my opinion? Y'all ready? All right, here we go. All right. So here's my opinion. The girl, the Instagram story that Adriana has shared on her at RN Goes, go follow her. She's dope. I agree with some stuff on it. The mixing the antibiotic or whatever, she did it 3 times before and she probably had to ask for help. I'm gonna say, yeah, I agree with that because I've done it. There's been times where I got something out of the Pyxis that I had to mix up and I didn't know how to take the dang compartment and put it back and shake it up. I didn't know how to do that. And it probably took me 3 times too. I also don't post drugs on my Instagram story, so I can't relate. But what I will say is that, yes, it probably took her a couple of times. So within that, if that nurse posted, okay, I'm mixing up, you know, Rocephin or whatever it is that she was given. I don't know. I didn't see the post. I didn't know what she was referring to. But this is the drug. You know, I think the influencers do a great job at educating. This is the drug. You know, this is what it's most commonly used for. Blah, blah, blah. Fun fact about me, it took me 3 times to mix this up, y'all. It's perfect because I did it 10 times. But it took me 3 times and I had to ask for help. It's just a disclaimer. You can add that in. The part where she said she's standing by the crash cart, she never used it because she worked at the desk. How you know she worked at the desk? You know what I'm saying? And with a straight face. Like, this is how I talk to people anyways. I'm not joking. This is me, my demeanor all day, every day. How you know she worked at the desk, sis? How you know she didn't use that crash cart? How you know she wasn't so comfortable leaning up against that crash cart that she used it 10 times already? How do you know that? You don't know that. You don't know these people. And I get what she was saying. I agree with the post 50%. This is how I feel about influencers. I guess I'll call myself one. I don't really take much pictures and scrubs and stuff like that because when I'm at work, I'm busy, okay? And I sometimes just don't have time. And what I learned is that I ask questions because I legit be wanting to know, because I had asked 2 nurses who I love, one at Nurse Child, love you, babe. She is, they have a blog together. It's 2 of them. And they were taking pictures in the stock room one day. And I was just like, dang, you know, my shift don't look like this. And she was like, that's because I do this before I'm even on the clock. I just come, you know, I come and work early and I take a picture. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, that's dope to me that you can see, you know, what the stock room looks like and all of that stuff like that. Cool. Like, that's amazing to me. That's great. And some people do go into work early or take pictures on their break, or if I take a picture or something like that and I post it on Instagram, most times I had downtime, I didn't have, a patient or something like that, and I'm probably in the bathroom or in the break room or something like that. So for the influencers who share, and I pride myself on doing this because, I wanted to be a light and a guide to people who don't, had questions about certain things, like, failing nursing school for the first time. Been there, done that. I can tell you how I got through it. I can't really tell you how you should get through it, but I can give you tips, And I think that when we share different things, if we're going to be transparent about the good and the bad. However, these are people's own Instagram pages. They don't have to do nothing y'all ask them to do. They can share whatever they want to share. They do not work for Instagram. They might work for these scrub companies. They don't work for y'all. So I think we need to be mindful about the choices. Like, we choose to share this stuff because we want to be helpful, because we want to be transparent. And so for people who are following these nurses and be like, oh, she don't share enough, or oh, that's not real, blah, 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 this, that, and the third, you have to find somebody else to follow then. Because she's going to share, or he's going to share whatever he seems, he wants to share. That goes into, what happened to research? Because there's no way that I'm going to be on, social media all day, following nurses, and then I go to work and say, well, Brianna nursing, she said that, this how it is on the floor, but it ain't like that. Why would you ever take what somebody says as Bible? Ever. And I know, and I feel like I'm a credible source, but I just share my experiences. But my experiences are not yours. And so I feel like y'all need to be asking questions. Why are y'all taking what everybody says as, oh, I had a great day today, and, my shift was great, and nothing happened, nobody died, blah, 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 as that's y'all holy grail. Ask questions. Do y'all research. You know how many questions Google has? Is her shift really like this? And now I'm making it funny, but I'm being serious. But within that, I think the influencers need to be intentional about what they post. So, when you share the good with the bad. Don't just make it seem like it's all glitz and glam when you know that on that day, you probably had an easy day that day. But the rest of them other 2 shifts that you had to work, they might not have been like that. So disclaimer, I had a good day today, but yesterday, my shift was terrible, y'all. I lost a patient, I had to do CPR, blah, blah, blah. It's easy. It's just one after another. So I got another response. Shout out to Carrie. We went to Hampton together, and she works in human resources at a hospital. And so that was another different, shining a light on the opinion that I got. So I just want to share what we spoke about from a, human resources standpoint, and how she talks to her new grad nurses and what they say. Okay, so when me and Carrie were messaging back and forth, and she basically said, my new grad nurses were just saying that yesterday, that they feel like nurse influencers glamorize it in the sense that the actual difficulties are rarely discussed transparently, and it makes them feel like they are failing. So we just had a healthy conversation back and forth, and I just told her that that's what I'm hearing. I've been hearing that a lot, and I think that some are transparent, but when they are transparent, they glamorize it a little bit. Like, ooh, I had a rough shift, but I love my job, so I'm gonna go back tomorrow. Sometimes that's not always what I say. I don't be like, yeah, I love my job, but I'm gonna go back tomorrow. I got bills to pay. So in my mind, sometimes that's how I feel, and I just had a rough shift, but I'm gonna keep going. No, sis, sit down and recharge, because there's a such thing as self-care and burnout. And I told her, I was just like, I feel like people put too much emphasis on people who are on social media. This is not the Holy Grail. This is not the Bible, Quran, whatever you read. This ain't it. So when y'all are reading this stuff, please be mindful that this is from their experience and they're going to share what they want to share because it's their Instagram and they're allowed to do whatever they want to do. And y'all don't pay them. So with that being said, it's just like, if you like what the person posts, fine. But if you feel like it's something that ain't right in there because ain't no way she worked all 3 shifts and nothing happened, ask some nurses. Y'all on Instagram, y'all follow these people. If you don't want to ask her, ask everybody else. Yo, she said nothing happened during her 3 shifts this week. Is that true? Is that how it really is? Y'all don't ask questions. Y'all just take whatever people say with a grain of salt and go. I mean, not with a grain of salt, but y'all just take it and go. And I'm just like, where's the research part? If evidence-based practice taught you anything, and I know y'all wrote a whole bunch of papers. You had an idea, and then you had to go find 50 million articles to support that one idea. Get some support with that. Because if I go on the floor at my job and say, well, so-and-so on Instagram told me this how it's supposed to go, they're going to look at me like I'm crazy. What? Who is her from Instagram? And you the nurse, not her. I'm confused. Take ownership of your own career, all the things that you learn, and just apply it. Ask questions, do all of that. So recap. My recap is, I'm 50% agree with what everybody is saying, and I 50% have my own opinion. The agreements is that I do feel like sometimes people do glamorize, being on the floor and all of that stuff like that. I don't follow anyone who has glamorized it that I have seen. Everybody who I follow keeps it real, 1000%. Like about their PRN schedule, if they're a travel nurse, what they don't like about travel nursing, what they do like about travel nursing. Being on the floor on med-surg, having these crazy ratios with the 6 and 7 patients and all of that stuff like that. Being in the ER, getting slammed back to back to back, not being able to go to the bathroom only but one time. And then when you do go to the bathroom, they call you and say, oh, we need you on the floor. I'm like, can I pee in peace? You know what I mean? So that's one aspect. And so maybe y'all need to follow different people. I don't know. But no, like I said, nobody that I follow post that. Everybody keep it real from their own experience and stuff. On the other hand, as an influencer, I think we need to take responsibility about what we put on Instagram, because people are impressionable. And, they look to us for guidance and they want help and they look to us for tips and things like that. And I love that you guys do that. I love y'all. I love the love that y'all show me every day. It's amazing. I don't mind helping y'all. I don't mind giving you tips. I don't mind sharing my experiences when I'm ready to share them. And I always pride myself on being intentional about what it is that I post on Instagram. So if I have not been through it, you ain't gonna see me speak on it. If you want me in a debate, if I'm not knowledgeable about the subject, I'm not debating with you, because I'm not knowledgeable. I'm not doing that. I'm not about to post a full face makeup and me going to work, because I'm not doing that. I don't do that on a regular basis. I sleep to the very last minute. I wake up, I run around this apartment like a chicken with my head cut off. I'm out the door and I go to work. I'm not putting no eyebrows on. I don't feel like it. I'm not doing that. I just don't want to do it. Not that I've never wore makeup to work before, because I have. And that's why I know I don't like it on my face. Because when I get to thinking I got to do this and then I got fingerprints in my foundation, I don't want none of that. My face gonna be beat, it's gonna be beat all day. You know what I mean? And so I think, on the other hand, I think influencers need to be intentional and responsible about the things that they post and the stuff that they portray. Because, like I said earlier, people are impressionable. They look to you for guidance. So give them the real. Give them the good and the bad. All that stuff. The tips and advice. What I want to say to the aspiring nurses, students, or whatever who look up to these people. It's fabulous that you look up to them. It's fabulous that you look up to me. Great, I love it. I've never even thought to be a person who somebody would look up to, because I'm just me and I'm just living in my truth and in my purpose and my passion. But what I want y'all to do, please do your research. Please stop taking what people say on social media as Bible. Like, they're sharing from their experiences and stuff like that. If you feel like something is going on where you want to know a little bit more and they're open to answering your questions, ask them. or ask some other nurses or other nursing students or whatever the case may be. Compile some evidence here so that you have what's going on. Don't just take what Susie say on Instagram every day about how she had the greatest shift of her life all week long. Ain't no way she worked 3 12-hour shifts back to back and ain't one bad thing happen. Ain't no way. But with that being said, go and investigate. Ask questions. Research. It is not everybody's job to tell you exactly what happened during their shift so that you know what to expect, because what happened on their shift ain't necessarily going to happen to you the way it happened to them. You got to learn how to think on your feet, and critical thinking in nursing is so vital. So I can tell you all day about how bad I had it in the ER, or how I got back-to-back patients, or how, when I used to work trauma, I was on the trauma hallway and I had traumas back-to-back. That don't mean that you're going to experience exactly the same thing that I experienced. This is not a guideline. This is not a template. You'll have your own experience to be able to share with everybody else if you see fit. And I don't mind sharing my experiences, but these are my experiences. So I'm going to tell it the way I tell it. And I really, share the bad with the ugly, and it's great, but y'all need to research and stop glorifying these people. I know that, I don't want nobody to ever glorify me. Don't do that, because I stood in your shoes and I will stand next to you at any moment and be nursing sisters, brothers, whatever you want to call it. But I just want y'all to be mindful, to just research, and don't hold everybody up on this pedestal like, they Jesus and they worth worshiping or whatever, because they got influencer behind their name. We people, just like everybody else, we're humans that decided it was our choice to be transparent and share. And I just want to make that clear to y'all. It's a choice. We don't have to. We do not have to. And I do it personally. I can't speak for anybody else, but I do it personally because I love what I do. And I wish that if there was somebody who wanted to be transparent about their walk when I was in nursing school. So I chose to be that person. But I'm sharing what I want to share, and I'm going to share it from my experience. So influencers, be responsible and intentional about what you post. I don't pass judgment on anybody, so I'm not going to go on here and say, oh, she don't know how to work the crash cart because she was standing there being cute. I'm not about to say that. Do your research, aspiring nurses, ask questions. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. So, y'all can hit me in the comments. If y'all don't agree with what I'm saying, that's cool, Like I said, disagree respectfully. And we ain't always gonna agree on the same thing. But I think it's twofold. You can't hold somebody accountable and be like, oh yeah, you don't post enough, or you don't post the real stuff. Why? If I didn't never post, what would you know? Because they don't tell you in nursing school that you about to have 5 and 6 patients in a ratio. They don't tell you that. That's not in that med search book, sis or bro. They don't tell you that. So if nobody told you nothing, you are going to have to go on the floor and develop your own experiences anyways. And now it's your job, if you so choose to share the bad and the ugly. So just be mindful of what you post. Be intentional. Don't be holding these people to some standard. And let them be human, just like everybody else. We all humans. We all here to help each other, build each other up, empower one another. I love y'all. I want to see y'all do great. So, that's what it is. So happy Sunday. So glad that we can have this discussion, this conversation. If you guys have not visited my nursing platform, it's at Not Just Nurses on Instagram. You can follow me on my personal Instagram as well at YouReadyBe __. Not Just Nurses has a website, www.notjustnurses.com. I also have my own personal website, www.youreadybe.com. So, give me feedback. What y'all thinking? What's on your mind? I'm always here for healthy conversation. Keyword healthy. Y'all can keep that other stuff to yourself because it's Sunday and I have Jesus and I don't have time. But yeah, so love y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in. And see you guys next week. Bye.